We're back at the job this morning, and it's not raining, so we're going to get back to it. And I did meet with Brock about this 2x8 thick wall that's going to go right there.
And what'd he say?
No conclusion. But I'm going to conclude from the conversation that Brock was having with his wife and me on FaceTime that we should just do it, and I think nobody will be sad about it.
You know, we shouldn't have even asked. Yeah. It's on the plan. We should have built a stupid thing.
Yeah, it's just not normal.
All right, well, here's the deal. We don't have any 2x8s, but we have a lot of 2x4s that we could use up. They're covered in concrete, kind of nasty. Burn them up.
Who's Emmy?
Who's Emmy?
That's her daughter.
You said his wife Emmy.
And me.
And me.
And me.
Oh,
We both heard Emmy.
Dude, no.
We both looked
at
at
each
each other.
other and we were like,
Who's Emmy?
Surprised you guys are even listening to what I'm saying. If you didn't gather, we're having to be super careful while we're cutting out these plates in the door openings because we don't want to cut up the freaking finished floor. So he's cutting like, I don't know, 3/4 of the way through with that, finishing with an oscillating blade that gets basically ruined every time it touches the concrete at the end, which is a pain. What?
Is that why you haven't asked me to do that?
Yes. That's a standard door height?
That's what it says.
Okay.
I'm using my phone more than ever to look at the plans here. And even though it's super small, you can zoom in and really get close to the details. Right now we're building this wall with a cased opening, and there are no dimensions that tell me where that opening is within that wall, left and right.
Right.
I think it's centered, but I want to make sure. So a little trick here that I've learned from just messing around is to scale it up with a zoom until it matches the width of my screen on one side of the opening, and then just move it over and compare that and measure it with the other side.
Without changing the zoom.
Yeah, don't change the zoom. It looks the same.
Good trick.
So I'm gonna call that perfectly centered in that space right there.
Look at you using technology?
I know,
I can't believe it.
I know. I didn't really think the smartphone thing was gonna catch on. Because you know they only have like one button, right?
Right.
And then they got rid of that.
Okay. I am still on my Larry Hahn kick where I'm just putting a tick mark and not making a cross line with my speed square. And I haven't had any complaints yet, so I think that's going pretty good. And it's going fast, which is great. So we'll see who the first one is to complain about it. So I'm just lining this up and making it perpendicular to the board by eye, which is basically what you're doing with the blade on the line anyway. That might be one more, Jono. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, one more. We've got layer number 1 of our double thick wall ready to go. So just imagine what you just did. Do it again. Let's stand this one up though and get it out of the way.
POV?
Handheld.
POV?
Yeah, there you go. That just made me hungry saying handhelds. Did you know I was still doing the Larry Hahn?
Well, I know you said you're going to at the start of the job. I haven't checked up on you to see if you've given in yet to draw a line.
Nope.
You're not gonna do it, huh?
No.
All 2x4s cut, no marking except for your tick mark.
Exactly.
No square,
None.
no guiding the saw.
Exactly.
None of that.
I think Jamie's really coming around. I was expecting a way worse reaction than that. I thought I was going to get scolded right then.
You didn't hear what he said when you walked away.
Oh, right. So we're always trying to get our framing pulled flush before we nail it. In some cases, like, you can see that does not want to pull easy. A great pro tip is to just tap on the other framing member while you're pulling, and it'll just go. I don't know the physics of it, but it works. So here we go.
I got something critical for everybody to know about layout when it comes to marking for our studs on this next section of the house. We're not gonna start at the front corner again and work our way back like we did on that side. This is our true reference. The layout comes to there. We're gonna transfer it to here and then run backwards out that way. Now, 16-inch on center probably doesn't matter too much, but when it comes to the 19.2s for the trusses, and those are gonna line up on top of the 16s.
With that.
With that, yeah. So this is 32 feet even from that corner. So we're at a nice number.
even.
It's an even layout on 19.2s and 16s.
Okay, so if we just hook right there and pull, that'll be it.
That point forward, this point backward, whatever happens, come what may, all right? And actually it works out really nice on the layout. I don't know how it worked out so great, just sort of randomly. I did it all for the hooky.
We've got our double thick wall built here, and I'm just gonna toe screw this together anywhere there's like 2 members. I can just do a toe screw without it popping somewhere, including anywhere up here really. So just gonna run like that. So I feel like catch. Do some in the header here. See if these are flush here. Not quite. Maybe able to... I did it. Oh yeah.
27 5/8 plus cross cut.
Hey, don't tell Jamie, but I've been doing that Larry Hahn thing too.
Nice.
Just making a mark and
Oh,
ripping
yeah.
it.
Sweet.
Dude, it's perfect every time.
We're taking bets here on whether the homeowner is going to want us to raise this door opening or not.
It feels low.
It said 6'8" on the plan. That's it.
It feels low just because now we're used to the 8-foot openings, but
What's your bet?
I bet we'll have to raise it. But this is what it says on the plan, and we just got told to build it like the plan says. Why change the plan?
I think it gives a little more privacy having it drop down lower.
What? Is someone's hiding on the ceiling? What do you mean privacy? Privacy
Just the
for what?
illusion of privacy.
I'm looking at you in that room, and I'm looking at you in that room.
We finished all the walls on this side, including all the sheetrock nailers and cutting out all of the plates that run through, which is great. I hate leaving stuff like undone, then you forget about it. So we're gonna move over here, and we're gonna start on this front wall that has the biggest door we've ever framed in it, 12 feet wide. But it won't be for long till we do the 16-foot one.
What's 16?
Over there.
Oh, yeah.
This wall has an opening that is 12 feet wide for the door, and the overall length of this wall is 24 feet. Now, instead of trying to build it in one piece and having joints in the top plates and it'd be difficult to lift with a giant header in it, we're gonna break it up into 2 pieces. We're gonna build this segment and have our jack right here on the side, and we're gonna do the same on the other side, and then we can just lift the header and set it into place.
We may need to check if double jack is enough, like a 3-inch bearing on the end for a 12-foot opening. It's not really load bearing, but
Yeah, it's not as load bearing as it may appear. There's so many factors to take into consideration here when we're framing because of our change of the floor system. And our floor system bearing actually rotated 90 degrees. In the original drawing, this would have been an engineered lumber header because the floor joist would run this way, bearing a floor load across that 12-foot opening. But now we're using trusses that are engineered also, and they span from this wall to this wall, free and clear span. So there is no floor load being applied to that header. And not only that, above that header, there's another header that gaps that entire area. So there's absolutely no floor load or any other load applied to that particular header.
so we can change the header to something less.
It could be nothing, really, literally. It could be like a 2x4.
We should at least do 2x12.
But we'll do some 2x12s anyway, as if it was like a big garage door or something, you know.
the main thing is it has to hold itself up.
It does, and it needs to be just a strong structural thing for the door header to attach to.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is the part of the door track that's going to hold the door in place. It's going to have some force applied to it when the door opens.
All right, we did look it up here. If we're doing what would have been there is equivalent to a 3 2x12, it would be 2 in J to the D, which is number of jacks. 2 on each side.
Saying 5? There's not even room in the wall for 5.
Yeah.
We're talking about how many king studs are required beside your jacks, depending on how wide is your opening. And I guess the idea is that you're trying to replace the missing framing where that opening was and condense it and move it to a different location. I've been told before that if you just count how many studs would have been in that wall section, divide that in half and put them in the king stud position. So we could do that right here in the 12-foot opening and see what...
I don't think it would be 5 per side because that would be 10 total.
That seems a little bit extreme, but this is also in that absolute load-bearing situation where this is not.
So we've got a big pack out of framing here, and as we're dropping these in, we're only dropping in 2 at a time so that we can nail them together. If we're to drop like 5 of these in place, then we can't nail the middle ones to each other so nothing's attached. So that's a really good tip. If you're gonna do this, make sure to get everything nailed together as you're putting them in. Today's video is brought to you by Beam and their Dream Nighttime Blend for better sleep. What's great about Dream is it's an easy thing to use. You just mix it with hot or cold water. Cold with ice is nice in the summer, and then you drink it as a nice bedtime routine. And it has ingredients that help you with all of the stages of sleep. So not just falling asleep fast, but staying asleep, getting in a deep sleep, and waking up and feeling refreshed with no grogginess. Comes in a CBD and a non-CBD version, and it also tastes great. It's like a treat at bedtime, like drinking a hot chocolate or a tea. I'm very fortunate that I sleep great at home, but when I'm on the road in a hotel or I'm staying in the camper, I always take my Beam Dream with me, and it helps me get that same quality sleep even though I'm out and about. And if you didn't know, getting bad sleep has all kinds of bad side effects and consequences, while getting a good night's sleep helps you feel energetic, focused. I actually feel a lot less stressed out about everything in my life. So getting the full night's sleep is probably one of the most important things that I can do to make sure my day is gonna go great after that. And good sleep supports healthy aging, Ray.
Ooh. Yeah, like that? Yeah.
Beam comes in a ton of great flavors that you can mix with milk or water, but if you prefer, it also comes in a capsule that you can just swallow. Something else I'm gonna try here is the Beam Super Latte. What is that exactly?
It's a jitter-free coffee alternative.
Okay, that'd be nice. Find out about the easiest way to get to sleep and stay to sleep by clicking the link in our video description or scanning the QR code up on our screen here. And you can get 35% off at checkout by using code Perkins. Thank you, Beam, for sponsoring our video. And let's get back to work. You ready, bud?
When they're talking about the distance.
That's a lot of nails. That's cute.
It's
Like
not
that.
supposed to be cute.
Green really makes your eyes
I'm trying to look like Jamie, so when I'm working in the shop, I got, my pencil and doing some woodworking.
Yeah,
You'll get more respect.
that's pretty burly looking.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
He couldn't figure out how to do the straps. That's why he brought it here, so Jamie could help him.
I mean, I'm not saying that's right, but it's something.
Yeah, you're pretty close to
It's
something
real
here.
close to being something. Now see if you can get it off, though, by yourself. Because that's going to be the trick. So you might not have that cross thing that connects the straps in the back. There you go.
Now don't touch it. I've got what I'd call a little bit of a carpentry trick shot here. I've got a sill plate that needs to get pulled in two directions to be tight against the jack and the cripple. And I've got this screw angled at the angle I think that I can get both of those accomplished at the same time. Drawing both directions. So I'm gonna lift it up a guess amount here to give it room to draw and give it a shot. And I got it.
Oh, yeah. See what I'm saying now? Nope, don't see it. Believe it or not.
We've got our two wall ends built, and Jamie's now cutting the header pieces. We're thinking about doing this like not all as one piece a header still.
It's heavy.
Yeah, it'll be heavy. I think we could do it.
Come on, look at us all, man. We're specimen. We got it. You know how to do it.
This is not real straight. It's bent.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Jamie! Yeah. Well,
Your wood's bent.
the other piece we put on the top, we can try to get a really bent piece and do the other way and try to do that. Jason found our worst board. Usually you're looking for the best one. And they were all pretty good, but this one bows. And we've got on their opposite, and you can see how much we're gonna have to pull out of the end here, and hopefully that'll straighten this thing up a lot. Go, 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 go. You think you can get out that door?
I don't know.
It is so huge.
It's big enough.
this bedroom wall is going to flip up against these fireplace walls, but they fall right between the studs. So these guys are doing like a ladder style blocking here to attach that wall to these walls. We may have to block in between those on the outside for a solid nailer for sheathing and siding later, but the inside doesn't need anything. It's not finished inside of that space. These stairs should be fun to build. All the way up.
You know, you kind of say that like it's a joke, but I actually think it would be fun. So
we just finished right here, and we're moving over to this wall, which originally was against a concrete basement wall below grade. No windows. So I wonder if that's still the plan, or if Jamie ordered windows for there now that that's daylighted.
but anyway,
I don't know. Should we ask?
No.
Is there any windows in the side of this bedroom? It's not on the plan.
oh. No, there used to be a concrete wall there, I think.
I'm not saying everyone should go out and buy a $180 speed square, but this thing's pretty.
Obviously
pretty awesome. Yeah, so this measures 1.5 inches.
Okay, that is really handy,
Yeah,
isn't it?
so if I'm going here, I make my mark, and then I just
Yeah.
Come
you don't
over.
Have to move it. That is pretty handy.
You know what we should test?
yeah, dude.
If you did that over and over and
No,
over,
we're not testing it.
how many times can you do it in a row without it getting off by a certain amount?
Yeah, but I want you to go. I want you to take your square like you guys do, and do that 10 times and see how far you're off. You're off more than I would be.
What's pretty great about our crew here is that everybody knows about layout and how it works. So it's not just one person having the full responsibility of getting all these walls laid out and checked. A lot of times we'll come back behind, look at it, or a lot of times Jamie will yell stuff and they'll lay it out, I'll lay it out. We all kind of just take responsibility. So we can go faster that way for sure. We're gonna see how much time this is really saving me per board, not marking it with the speed square, doing the Larry Hahn, just eyeballing it. And it's a little bit, I'm sure. So we're just gonna really find out for sure.
Okay.
So from the time my tape clicks in till I grab a saw, or I pretend to grab a saw,
Okay.
that'll be the number, okay?
All right.
So I'm gonna put my mark, 5 foot. Okay? 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000, 6.
Okay.
So 6 seconds per board. Say I cut 200 boards.
And you did it perfectly that time, so
Yeah.
it'll be a little longer.
200 times 6 seconds. That's how much time it saved today. We don't know that math.
No, I was gonna say what? We're definitely gonna take more time than that to figure it out. Whatever time we did save, we just lost it all.
2 minutes? So I saved roughly 3.5 minutes. But it seemed like more because it wasn't mentally taxing for me to have to just keep doing that over and over.
If it just mentally feels faster every
Yeah.
time, then you're good.
What's going to be awesome is when I'm so good at this Larry Hahn thing, when it comes time to do the trim work, then I'm cutting the trim like that. Isn't that going to be awesome?
Yeah. Well, at least you'll have plenty of practice before we get there, because we're a long way from that.
This place got a lot of walls.
It does. It's looking good though. I am very happy with what I'm seeing right now. Just about ready to set trusses, actually.
That's awesome.
So I was looking at something. This is something that we don't have a lot of times. The window that they're framing right now is drawn underground. Look at that. It actually is dotted out because it's below grade. I'm sure you've seen those window wells, they're called. It's like a corrugated, galvanized half of a pipe. That is what the plan was for this window, assuming that there was backfill dirt against that wall. There is not, of course, so
When
we're
you
not
really want a window, when you're going to build a window below the ground.
I guess that's common in some places, maybe.
It may be an egress sometimes.
Ooh, good point. It's not very common for us, though. I don't think we've ever put one in.
Nope.
And it has to have like a drain too, right? I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
water goes
it's
in
not
there.
real easy.
I don't know. It seems like a bad idea if you just ask me what I think about it.
we're kind of wrapping out for the day, but one thing we're gonna go ahead and do before we forget is go around the inside of each one of these headers and get some fasteners into the king studs. It's really hard to do that when this is laying flat on the floor on this side, and that can help really keep those from doing something crazy and becoming misaligned with the rest of the framing. So while we're thinking about it, we're gonna make sure all of this stuff is kind of complete, everything nailed, everything fastened, everything blocked, and sheetrock nailers and everything. And then we'll go home. That one's actually nailed because we put that king on later because the plumbing was in the way on the floor.
It'll be extra good, that's all I can say.
That is it for today, but make sure to check back next week. We'll be working with the Stud Pack crew, doing the floor system and doing some other adventures like you see here. We had an awesome time. It'll be some great content. I hope you guys enjoy it. Thanks for building with us today, and we will see you on the next one.